Honorable and royal greetings to you, my fellow royals of Alubera, Tobago, and Carib, Trinidad. It is such a beautiful and blissful day this day. I do hope that many of us are able to have great joy, great peace, great togetherness in this rise, regardless of any circumstance, whether it be circumstances that may trigger us into a bit of aggression or rage. I do hope that we have that point of healing where we can still be able to heal from any trauma and turn every single disaster into a masterpiece, into an influential masterpiece. This is a self-motto that I have been utilizing for myself for a great deal of years now, where I have rewired my mind, my body, my spirit to turn any disaster that I face into very much an influential masterpiece. And it is something that I do enjoy doing, and it is really, really useful and also helpful to me to be able to continue throughout the journey of life. So without rambling any further, I would just speak in a bit of detail, as I haven't really expanded on it, a bit of detail, the representation of my flag, the flag of Tamerika, nation of Tamerika, all right? And what each color represents, as well as as you would also see the symbols aligned in each color ratio, all right? So I'm sure persons have seen the posts on Facebook, on my pages, whether it is my personal page, Trinity L, or the other pages, which is the Royal Family of Alubera, as well as Alubera University, Royal University of Higher Learning. They have information on all these pages that I have been sharing for some time now, based on my own compilation and from what I would like do research on, and then on what like Spirit's Guide would just allow me to reintroduce to my fellow royal beings, as well as bit of wisdom, as greater knowledge for enhanced under and understanding. All right, so the royal flag of Alubera is a flag that signifies grace of royalty over peasantry, where the symbols, all the symbols, whether it is the ankh, whether it is the wings, whether it is the crucifix, whether it is the Islamic symbol of the moon, crescent, and star, whether it is the Freemasonry sign, as in the square and ruler, whether it is the Om, which represents the breath of life, or even the crown, which represents all royalty as royal beings as well, and even the sun, and also the Rubik cube, which represents the alignment of all nations returning to where they should be, in alignment of coding when it comes to the energy coding, and not being too hectic all over the place and like into any bit of misclassification, misidentity, and so on through the whole multiverse operation. All right, so where the symbols all synchronize as one, it is there to represent and further emulate the state of higher consciousness, higher awareness in this higher conscious state. All right, so at the base you will see the red. With the red there has the ankh and also wings, and this embodies who we are as a nation of indigenous copper-colored skin, right? And golden carbon of motherland, of mother creation, from whence all of us came from. All right, so it embodies that. The ankh represents the whole formation of life in representation, and the wings are in the essence of our godly capacity as beings, beings who are of these essence of royalty from birth in their lineage. Okay, above that is where you would see the blue, the royal blue, It is the spirit of purity, mastery of self-mastery, and a consciousness of rising higher. So the consciousness of what it is within the secretion oil that is able to rise within us through conscious states. It represents just that purity level of cleanse, of self-mastery, as I self-law am master, which is what is Islam. And the whole cross, which is also, if you watch the crucifix properly, you would realize that it is actually the template of a cube, similar to even the Rubik cube alignment is what I call it. If you have ever been in engagement of the Rubik game, the cube with all the colors and stuff, and in order to actually solve it, you have to mix it up and then try to piece it back together again. Exactly just that, in terms of how everything in life occurs. All right, and the ability to rise in higher consciousness, as always, to be able to ascend out of the recycling of the lows. Above that is where you will see the Tyrian Purple, the Imperial Purple, or rather Indigo as well. So there's Tyrian Purple, not Tyrian, my bad. Tyrian Purple is a royal shade of grace and royalty, and it is known to be worn and also carried by beings of high essence of royal graces. All right, and myself, who is Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D Trinity. It is who I am in my lineage, in my blood. I have been in that fourth. I am actually now in the fourth generation of royalty through my lineage of my ancestry as well too. Hence me operating in the system of operations I am moving with in this present motion. So it has nothing to do with trying to play I am anything or trying to convince anybody otherwise. It's not necessary for me to do such things because I already know who I am. And in terms of the assignment ahead, I know in terms of the assignment as in what is my divine purpose and what needs to be done for me to continue allowing self and beings around me to ascend into a greater level of consciousness. All right, so this is what actually symbolizes who I am in essence, the omniscient being, the omniscient being. All right, and the radiant grace of my royalty. So you will see it as I am. Ma son, meaning ma and son, the mothers and the son. All right, and also the crown, of which my royal graces always do represent. You will see persons, they would see there'll be times where you would see me with my crown on. I always do have on my crown, whether it is a physical piece or even a spiritual piece. It is always on, has always been on from birth. All right. Additional to this is with everything that is occurring right now, with the blood is on the land. For a great deal of time, there is always some bit of mischief, and before anything occurs in the physical, it is done in the spiritual passage. All right, so when it comes to the spiritual mischief on the lands, it comes a time where there would be a great purge, and by purge I'm referring to the judgment not on the perception of mankind per se, but all on the judgment of the spiritual order when it comes to any bit of persecution. So I ask my fellow beings, let us allow ourselves to not be triggered into practicing or being a part of any way of any blood ritual, because blood is always for blood. If you understand what I'm saying, when you offer blood, it'll always be a blood imbalance return. All right, so it is really, really not cool to see how many persons have to be, going through this whole loss. How many families face losses because of the spiritual mischief. And I'm speaking spiritually in the mischief, because before it is even projected in physical, it enters that spiritual passage. So it is for us to be aware and true to self in who we are and what we actually represent. All right, this is enough love and respect. Yours truly, Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D Trinity, Carib Queen, Goddess of the royal family of Alubera and also nation of Tamerika. All right, enough love.